Picture this. You've just finished a great evening with your partner. The night is almost over when suddenly she asks, "So, how are the piano lessons going? Can you play something yet?" And your mind goes blank. You haven't finished a full song and scale don't exactly set the mood. So you end up saying no, but felt a little bad about it. If it sounds familiar, don't worry, there's actually something very simple you can learn before your next relaxing dinner. So in this video, I'm gonna show you an easy trick in 3 steps to instantly play and improvise beautiful piano music on the spot. And if you'd like to have the PDF version of this video, you can get it for free down below in the description. First, I'm going to show you the only 4 chords you need to use this trick, because you don't have to memorize super complex note-for-note song. So the chords are going to be A minor, A, C, and E, G major, G, B, D, F major, F, A, and C, and E major, E, G sharp, and B. So as you can hear, we're actually going down with 4 chords that are just close to each other like this. Now for the G major, I'm actually going to be playing an A minor on the top with a bottom G like this. So it's basically A minor slash G. So it's A minor slash G, F, and E. But if you like to play G major, it also works. So you just really want to start practicing those chords using different inversions just to get familiar with them. But now that you know the basic chords, what can you do with them so they actually sound like music? So the first step of this trick that I want to share with you sounds just like this. How pretty is this? So the first trick here of this is using a simple pattern that we can actually reuse over those 4 chords. And this pattern is this one. So we have C, E, A, B, and C on the top right here. So it's a very simple rhythm. We're actually just holding the B to have this tied note with the next 8th note and then playing C. So just like this, all right? And we only play this, and on the left, we have an octave, just a root note, and we're gonna move lower like this. So A, G, F, and E. And that's the first step of this, and I'm pretty sure that you can do this. So let's do it again. So we have A minor, second bar of that, then we're moving to G. So by the way, what we're playing here is actually an A minor 9. So with a 9 right here and going to the 3rd. And E. Just like this. So this is the first step. Now that you have this down, let's try to see if we can add a little bit more movement in the left hand. And before we move on, just as a reminder, if you'd like to have the PDF version of this video, you can get it for free down below in the description. Alright, so the second trick here is going to be on the left hand. So we're going to be adding a little bit more movement to make this feel a lot more full with the pattern. And it sounds just like this. Amazing. So let's take a look at what I've played differently here. So on the left, I added quarter note using the 1 and the 5 of each chord. So it's basically for the A minor, A, and E, like this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for the A minor slash G, since it's a slash chord, we're only moving the bottom note. So we need to keep the 5th on the top here. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for F, it's gonna be F and C. Holding this, just adding some rhythm. And for E, we're going to the B. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. All right? It's actually quite simple to do, but there's some challenge here. So let's try this both hands. So every time it's basically we have a left hand every 2 notes. And this one is going to be in the middle of the left hand. And only the left is moving. Another very cool variation that you can do on the left that I actually really love to do is arpeggios using the 1-5-1. So this is actually A, E, and A, just like this. So it's 2 8 notes and a quarter note. So 1 and 2, and you hold it for the whole bar, like this. When you get to the slash chord, only the bottom change, and you add the G on top. So you keep having the 5th in the middle. So it's gonna fit better with the A minor chord, like this. And then for F, it's F, C, and F. So it's, you know, it's almost the same thing as we were playing in quarter note. We did this, but instead of doing quarter note, we're actually just arpeggiated those notes, like this. 4, 3, 4, any, like this. One more time. So now when we place this together, we're actually having the first 3 notes on the left is going to be at the same time as the right hand. And the right hand's finishing the line here. And by the way, here, I'm playing G, but you could also play A just on the top. Keep the G on the bottom and go like here. That's a variation you can actually add. That works. Both works. So this is already amazing and it sounds great, but you might be wondering, how can I change things around and make it sound more like my own, improvise around this? Because this pattern might feel a little bit the same over time. And this is what I'm going to talk about in step 3. So the last trick I want to share with you around this idea is how you can actually improvise a little and change a little bit of the things, move around the patterns, because there's a few things you can actually do and create something new every time you sit down at the piano. So the first thing you can do is just change the rhythm. So you keep the same thing on the right hand, but you change the rhythm a little bit, and it goes like this. So right here, I'm just changing a little bit of the rhythm. So instead of playing this whole thing, I'm just syncopating some notes. So you can really move around out with the rhythm here only by just changing the right hand just a little, just 1 or 2 notes. The other thing that you can actually do is change some notes, so we can really have fun with this. And I want to show you something on the E major, because for now we've been playing the same pattern over and over, but there's something very interesting by the E major. So let me just show you how it goes. So a few things move around here. So what happened is I started the same thing here, but then I added this beautiful note on the top, which is G. This G is the 7th note, the minor 7 of A minor. And those few notes are so beautiful. It's the 9, the 3rd, and the 7 of A minor, like this. So can go and I'll play all this right here. And for the F, you can actually use some of the notes of F major. So instead of staying on the same pattern that we were playing, you can change the E to go to F. That's interesting harmonically to add some notes from the chord you're actually playing. And for the E major, this is where it gets interesting, because we're in A minor. A minor, there's actually no black key at all. But in E major, we get this beautiful sound if we add the G sharp, which is the 3rd of E major. It kind of sounds like this beautiful resolution, because this is now the 5 going back to the 1 right here. So you can actually add an arpeggio using all the notes of E major, and it sounds so cool. So just 1 note, you only have to add the G sharp in your playing. So if I go back from the F, and you can stay with the notes of E major, and that sounds so cool. So those are just a few notes that you can change, but let's move on to my next point and let me explain to you why this G sharp actually works so well. So there's also a few simple scales that you can use that we've been already playing around with. So the first one is actually all the Y key, and this is the natural minor scale of A major. So this is one of the scales that you can move, so you don't have to play all of that. I was just showing you the scale. Just moving with the notes. Again, those are only the Y key, so that's pretty cool, because in A minor, you can only use that. So that's the first one, the natural minor scale, all the white note right here. The next one you can actually do is the pentatonic scale. The minor pentatonic scale is also the Y key, but we're skipping a few. So now if you're not sure what to play, there's 5 notes that are quite a certainty that you can actually go to, which is 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Like this, only the minor pentatonic scale of A minor. And the last one is actually for the E major, and it's the harmonic minor scale, because we have a few different minor scale. The This one is the natural one, so we already talked about that one. This is the first one. But if I want to replace G by G sharp, this is also a scale. It's called the harmonic minor scale. So if I only modify this one, it's so pretty, and it adds what I think it was missing from the beginning. So when you get to the E major, try to use the sharp, the G sharp. It could go like this, from the F major How pretty is this? So this is really just a mix of the pattern we've talked about, some arpeggios on the left, and a few scales. The E minor natural scale, the pentatonic scale, or the harmonic minor scale for the E major. If you start using those three, you're gonna just improvise beautiful piano, and I promise it's just gonna sound amazing. But even if you just play around with a little bit with the pattern and move with the pentatonic scale, those two key elements will sound great. I mean, you don't have to memorize this, because if I just start playing it again, I don't think I'm going to be playing the same thing. And that's the beauty, because it's so creative. So now that you know how to create beautiful improv at the piano in minor, you might be wondering how you can make it sound more full, more major. And you're going to need this video if you want to try this idea in a chord progression.